Hi, I'm Olivia. I'm going to show you how easy it is to make fermented food, particularly fermented vegetables, carrots. If you're a newbie to the whole world of fermentation, carrots is probably the best place to start. And it's a great family food, lots of kids love it. All you need is a handful of ingredients. I've already peeled and chopped up, I think 4 or maybe 5 carrots. We're going to use salt tonight. Salt is your natural preservative. It's a great antimicrobial. We're going to use filtered water. That's technically all you need to ferment vegetables. However, I'm a bit impatient, so I like to speed up the fermentation because I want these bad boys ready in about 48 hours. So tonight, I'm also going to add in a little probiotic capsule. You could also use whey or kombucha or something else like that. So, first things first, we need to make the brine. The brine is a fancy way of saying salted water. All you need is half a teaspoon of your salt straight into any type of sterilized jar. And then we want to add in half a cup of filtered water. If you don't have access to filtered water, it's not the end of the world. Just make sure that you're using bottled water. And then let's just empty the contents of the probiotic straight in and we'll give it a good stir. Let me get a spoon. The reason you want to stir it is you just don't want that probiotic staying a little chunky in the water. That's it, I've got my brine. So now what we want to do is kind of 2 tricks here. One, you want to make sure that you're packing in the vegetables as tight as you possibly can. They shouldn't be able to move around too much in the jar. And second thing is, you want to make sure that you've chopped them. Just give them a quick little measure before you pop them in. Make sure there's a good centimetre or 2 so that below the lid, so that there's a nice gap. So we've been fermenting for thousands of years. Think of fermentation as nature's way of pickling food. And what we know is that when we ferment, what actually happens is you get these beautiful bacteria that starts eating up the sugars that's in your carrot. And when they do that, they make lactic acid. And that is what gives it that really nice tangy taste. And that's essentially what ferments it. And if we want to get fancy, you can always add in something like rosemary. You can add in some garlic cloves, just smash them up, lemon peel, whatever you've got hanging out on the bench. I'm doing a roast dinner, so I've got some rosemary. And you just keep packing them in. So anyone that has gut issues can find a way of incorporating fermented foods into their diet because the outside layer of your carrots contains cellulose. And cellulose is pretty hard for the body to break down. And when you ferment foods, it kind of pre-digests it. So it's really good for anyone with IBS, bloating, constipation, diarrhea, sensitive tummies. Fermented foods are a great thing for also anyone that has mood swings, irritability, depression, etc. And 75% of your immune cells reside in your gut. So if there's something you want to be doing to kind of ward off colds and flus and stay healthy in winter, great little wellness tip is try to have 1 to 2 serves of fermented foods a day. So that's it, that's kind of how it looks. And then all we want to do is we want to top the jar up with filtered water. There's a good little centimetre at the top. Pop the lid on. I'm going to leave that at the bench for 24 to 48 hours and I'll know it's ready because when I look at the jar, I'll see these tiny little air bubbles that start to come up. That's when it's good to go. Pop it in the fridge and it'll stay good for a couple of months.